Hey guys, I just want to make a video showing you what to look for. I got a 2003 Jeep Liberty. This should work on the other similar years like 02, 01, 2004, 2005, 2006, and I think possibly 2007. I'm not 100% sure on that. The issue we were having was no key in the ignition. Weird electrical stuff was going on, including the heat being on low sometimes whenever it wanted to, panic alarm going off, the rear gates just opening whenever it wants to, just keeps doing it. The front left turn signal, but it's being used as a daytime parking running light. It was not flashing. That was on, no key in the ignition, and the taillights, all three of them were on with no key in the ignition. And the rear gate and unlock just keep clicking, like every few seconds, click, 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 click. Fuse, I started messing with some stuff, looking around, but fuse 9 and fuse 23, those operate the rear tail lights coming from the junction box in the interior. But I will note that fuse 19, for the rear wiper, when I pulled that, the rear turn signals went out. But when you turn the ignition on, they would come back on. But then the brake lights wouldn't work. It was kind of really strange, like really weird stuff. So I'll show you guys what I was doing here. Now this has the tow package, factory genuine Mopar tow package. So it's kind of just back here. I had things apart. I was like, oh, the rear wiper, when you pull that fuse, it stops doing it. So I disconnected connector by connector. No difference, no change. I have this disconnector right now because it won't stop unlocking, and I haven't fixed it yet. I found the problem. So it's kind of just messing. They said there should be some, the tow relay should be back here. I don't know. I didn't find them. I checked both sides. I didn't find them where the manual said they should be. So I'm looking around. I'm on here and I'm checking power. Now, they had power. And I was looking back at the diagram, and the diagram comes off this turn, the right turn signal, the white with the tan right here. That goes back, fuse 1923. That's 7 volts. 7 volts is kind of weird. So I was looking by, whatever, and then I noticed that this fuse is popped. It wasn't popped before, but it was popped today. So I went ahead and swapped the fuse, blew instantly, and then I noticed it always smelled like burnt electrical in here. Not like always, but when the problem started persisting yesterday, it showed that. But just as I put the fuse in and it popped, I noticed smoke coming from back here, and don't mind the mess. I got things taken apart. So I got the seat disconnected, 3 bolts. I got the 2 other, there's a nut and a bolt, pulled those out to get this carpet out. Look at that. So water's been getting in here because the sunroof leaks because it's busted. And it's winter time, so there's snow in here. Water got in here, and look at this connector in here. Melted, absolutely melted, and all that corrosion. Yeah, of course water. This little connector mounts right here, like that. So that's why everything was acting all weird. It was really making the body control module do all kinds of weird stuff. I thought it was a bad body control module, but this is something you guys should check. The wiring comes through here. This carpet is soaked. And then mostly because snow we get in here and the snow drips and stuff like that, but part of it is because of the sunroof, standing water in here. But yep, you want to check this connector right here. This guy was smoking. I could see it right through the hole for the seat. It was all the smoke pouring out. So this is something you guys are going to want to check. I'm going to take this apart and see if the inside connector is damaged, and after disconnecting the battery, and I think I'm going to try to clean this up the best I can. Burnt electrical, and do something so this doesn't happen again. Maybe just drill a little hole under it or something near it, or find a grommet for it and just leave it open. Yeah. But I just want to show you guys that. This is probably one of the first things you should check if you're having the issues I was having with a burnt electrical smell. And maybe, maybe your sunroof is leaking too or something like that. I'd probably come back here and double check this. All right, guys, just giving you a heads up. Here's some live in action of me doing the repair. So I pulled this guy out, kind of inspecting it more. Where it was burnt, it was just so brittle. I mean, it looked like there was already corrosion and everything else in there. Like you just touched it and it disintegrated. So what I decided to do is I was going to take the few pins that were messed up, and literally I went to the back of the connector and like just barely pulled on them. They pulled right out of the connector. Basically fell out. And I was just going to take those and bypass the connector. And then like I was opening the connector up, and it was all disgusting. You know, it was like all gross in there. And it seemed like a lot of corrosion on a lot of the wires. So what I decided to do is just nip them all. And I'm going to use heat shrink butt connectors. I have a black one on there because that's the larger size. I love these things. Yeah, I mean, it's good to solder, but I've heard that when you have solder, a lot of solder in a vehicle, sometimes the solder can break and stuff. And these guys are pretty flexible and they seal up pretty well. And honestly, they're a lot faster. They're heat shrink, so you heat shrink them with a lighter. This is not a great example because I didn't get it all the way. And I'm gonna go by through again when I do the rest and just clear every single one up. But they suck nice and tight to the wire. Now the only thing, like people say, oh, when you crimp it right there, yeah. But when you hit it with the lighter, that starts to melt in. Like these are solid. As long as you get a good prep surface, like there's no salt in there, no dirt in there, you're good to go. And it's inside the vehicle, you know. Now I'm not sure why Chrysler put this connector here. Maybe because you want to remove the rear wiring harness. That seems like a waste of time. This vehicle is 2003. It's 2025. Not once has this connector been undone. Not once. So what? In the next few years, all of a sudden, somebody's going to want to take the wiring harness out in 2 pieces? I don't think so. So I'm just going to sit here and do this every single one of the wires. There's 34 wires, I think, unless I'm slow and don't know how to count. So yeah, I'm just going to do that to every single one. So what I do, I'm just kind of going through. I cut every single one. I left a little bit so I could see where it was, just in case there was any same colors or anything like that, which I don't think there is. That I would kind of be like, oh yeah, that goes right there, you know, it goes in the corner. Or if there's a different color, oh yeah, I went to that pin. Oh yeah, that's that color, you know. So it's not like cutting it right up to the crimp. Plus some of these wires are kind of nasty and gross. So I got these. These are the OTC. OTC 5950S. I love these things. I love them because of the crimp right there. I use that guy. Put it right on there. Get a real good crimp. Not like pliers. You hit pliers and they pull out. Yeah, that's what the rest of the connector looks like. Yeah, electrical connector shouldn't look like that. I've been living in a swamp for who knows how long. I hit it with battery cleaner before I started working. That seemed to work pretty well. And then I cleaned it up with a rag. So I'll just take a wire like this here, yellow with blue. No matter which color. Some of these are 16 gauge, some of them are 18 gauge. They're kind of like all around. It's hard to do this one hand. This is an 18 gauge. So just go on here. Yeah, it's great to pull on the wire like that. Usually I do 2 hands. Throwing them back in there. Clean them up when I'm done. So that's stripped now, just like that. You don't really need a whole lot because these are smaller wires and they slip right in there. And I'm just going to go through, do that to every single wire. And then I'm going to take one of these guys, stick it on the wire, crimp one side, stick it to the corresponding color, crimp the other side, and then once I'm done doing all of these, I'll come back with a little torch that I got. It's got the zip tie on there because I got mad at it one day, threw it and it broke. Long story. So I got to keep that on there so it stays together. This is like a little torch. I like this little thing. What the hell is this? I don't know, some torch. They're all the same. Better than using a lighter. Just kind of go around, work the whole connector. So yeah, I'll show you guys when I'm all finished. I don't think this is coming out too bad. I'm not replacing that whole wiring harness just because of a connector issue. And like I said, it's 2003. I mean, it's not outside. Yeah, it looks like there's corrosion, but that's probably from the wire. When I'm all done with this too, I'm gonna wrap this up in electrical tape or Tessa tape. I'm thinking electrical tape because I don't really want it getting wet down there. So I'm gonna wrap it up real good. But even then, these are when you crimp these, when you heat these up right, you're never gonna have an issue. I am not really fully done on these. I kind of just like did them a little bit, just kind of messing around. I'll show you guys. All right, I just got them all connected, but as you can see, got one guy left over here and no guys left over here. So I just want to show you guys this. That green guy is right there. Now this is attached the way, I have it loosened up, but this is attached the way that it goes. You can see it's right above, like an orange with a red or something like that, next to this weird tan black. One over is where it should be from that corner. There's nothing. No pin. So it doesn't do anything. So in this instance, I'm going to get one more. And I'm going to crimp it on that side. And then the other side, I'm just going to shrink down and melt. So it doesn't touch anything. It's probably just a feature that I don't have or some extra wire that they decided not to use. So, all right. See you guys.